Welcome on in, everyone. This is our first AMA, and we have today with us Andrei, Petrica, and Vitalii. And we are going to be chatting about all sorts of things. One question that sort of planned as an icebreaker question, and I'm excited for this one. How did the idea of the whole Ratio1 project began? And this question is predominantly, I think, in the hands of Andrei for this one. So
yes, but you know the answer to this question.
I know, but let's see for the people here.
You've been around for the.
I think it's Andrei to answer the question because he's the oldest in the project. So
Actually I am, but you know what, Mihai here has been from the very beginning, almost from the very beginning in the project. So he's been here for more than 5 years, and the project is of course 5 years. So you can say that although he has not been directly involved, let's say 4 or 5 years ago in the project, he has seen the inception of the project. So anyway, I'll answer the question, Mihai. The whole idea of this project, it's fully based on a classical AI on edge system that we developed for various applications. And the whole idea was that there are a lot of situations where you cannot use a cloud AI in order to develop and put into production, operationalize your system. Meaning you cannot, let's say, transport all of data from the edge location to the cloud central location. And thus you need to process the data locally on edge. And this is the classical, the classical dilemma of edge application. That's why you have edge applications, because in some cases you cannot take all the data and put it into the cloud. For example, you cannot take all the video streams from thousands, tens of thousands of locations and transport them to Google Cloud or to Amazon AWS and process them in real time with thousands of GPUs. It's not feasible from the bandwidth perspective, not from the compute perspective. From the compute is possible with the current technologies, but from the bandwidth perspective, it's not feasible. So you process the data locally. So this was the initial idea, and we deployed in a lot of scenarios our frameworks and our edge nodes. At some point, we discovered that it would be interesting and it would be feasible, and there is a requirement for these kind of applications way beyond the implementations and the partners and the consumer and the clients that we had. So we thought about, okay, what if we give this to the whole world? What if we democratize the access to this technology? What if everybody is able to deploy on edge AI? What if everybody is able to develop and deploy? And finally, what if we construct a cloud, an AI cloud based on this edge node system that we developed, that can be accessed and can be used by anyone to develop applications, to deploy applications, and make things easy, make things simple, and so on. And so we discovered this, and we also discovered the fact that we cannot create a product that can actually work unless you have some kind of monetization mechanics that will incentivize the data consumers, the compute producers, and everybody in the system. Yeah. So basically, there was no other way than to find a solution where there wasn't a single party that owns the entire system. So when we were not supposed to own the system, and we were not supposed to take money from everybody, fees and so on. So how would we do that? So the only solution we found was in Web3, in blockchain technology, tokenized economy approach. That is why the Web3 integration. That is why the token. That is why we developed what we developed in the past more than 12 months.
So I think it was also Andrei. I haven't been there because I joined like 1 year ago. But from what I feel is that at one point you felt that the enclosed environments you developed, because you created an enclosed environment for certain clients, they were having their own clusters, and I think at one point you felt that maybe they would not require physically to own the computing power themselves, and maybe at one point they could have borrowed some compute power in an open system like the protocol looks like now. And I think it's more like a compute sharing protocol similar to Uber or similar to ride sharing models we have available. It's just that it's on computing power, and I think that's where you actually felt that you need to allow businesses or persons to scale their products horizontally with the involvement of other parties in the computing power sharing.
Yeah. It was actually one of the ideas that we coined back in 2021, 2022, was the idea of creating such something like AI for small businesses. So let's say that I own the whole small businesses and I deployed this AI into my business, and I owned a strong GPU, powerful GPU based on a gaming rig, let's say, and some other business nearby launch the same system and use the same system and the same AI-based system, and they didn't have the GPU, and I could have spare power to give them. So how could I give them the spare power without me having a contract with them, creating a connection, and doing all sorts of complicated stuff behind? How this can be done automatically? So it was something very palpable, very, very clear in front of us. How can you do that? How can automatically the guy next door can use your GPU compute with the same application that you are using while you are using it, if you have spare compute power in your system? How can you do it?
Yeah.
And that entire construction was sort of like the core idea of combining and helping basically each other with computing power. That is awesome. And as a tangent, Petrica, you said earlier that you joined about a year ago or so. I think even more. But how was it for you finding out about this project? How was it like to be drawn into this little world of ours?
I think it was pretty odd because it wasn't straightforward inclusion of myself in the team. I think we found about the protocol and what Andrei has been building in the past few years ago, actually. We had certain discussions at that point, but we were all hands-on with, myself and the other part of the team, we've been all hands-on with other products. They required our full involvement. And at that point, even if I enjoyed a lot the mission and the point where the protocol was already at, we couldn't have said fully heartedly that we can join the team, and it was something that was left in the background with a bit of regret, because I was actually enjoying the idea of working on a protocol that is pretty clear. We see a lot of use cases in Web3 that solve almost nothing. They're just developing assets and then trying to build problems around the assets. Here it was the other way around. There was a certain use case that was tested and applied in the past, and what I actually liked about it was that it was actually solving real problems, and that the economy was something real, nothing based on I don't know, an inflation that is not controlled, let's say, because right now we have a certain incentivization plan behind the project, and it's pretty clear that it's based purely on adoption and the success of the protocol. Of course, if the protocol is going to work and the adoption is going to come, everybody will thrive in the ecosystem. If not, of course, it's not going to go anywhere. But this is the purest way of showing the success of the protocol, having an asset that is actually linked to the sales of the licenses and most specifically to the jobs themselves. I think this is what actually got me into the project the most. And later down the line, I was really happy when Andrei came back to us and retried to catch us in the team. And at that point, the timelines matched, and we could join the team. And I think also the product itself evolved a lot since that moment. And I'm glad I've been able to put a footprint on it, even if the protocol was already well developed in terms of the whole history of development, like 4 years plus, a lot of sweat in the making, and I think it was great. And still a lot of sweat to be put in to make it massively adopted.
Yeah. Your contribution has been absolutely brilliant, and I know all the discussions you've had with Andrei, with the rest of the team, of course, to add your unique perspectives and your knowledge to this entire project. But now I'd like to hear a little bit from Vitalii as well. I'm passing to you the same question. How was it for you when you were asked to join this project, and how was it like working with Andrei?
Yeah, so I came to the project under a bit different conditions. I think I was the last one to join the team. And the story of how I joined the team began by me going to get my second master's. And I was looking for a professor to do my master's thesis with, and I found out about data science optional, and I went there. I love the professor a lot. And when I was deciding about professors who I match with, who have very bright energy, who attracted me, I think Andrei was undoubtedly the first one.
Great teacher.
And the only one, I would say. Yeah. Amazing, not great. Amazing teacher.
He's still a teacher for all of
Yes,
us.
True.
I mean,
yes,
every day
he actually is the teacher
like...
for all of us as well.
That's because I'm old.
Yeah, no. Age is just a number, man.
Yeah, experience is more important, and knowledge. And the way he could tell you something, he could explain something, is really special. And I asked him if I could do my master's with him, if it's okay. And I had some ideas back then. And he asked me what I'm interested in, what I would like to do. And I told him, hey, I'm working in a cybersecurity company. We could do this, that. Maybe we could check some logs, create some models. Besides this, I like doing IoT and engineering. I love working with hardware. And this part catched him. And that's when he suggested me, oh, look, so you have two options. You could go with the first idea that came from you, or the second one is a nice project, really interesting. It's already in production. It was where he told me in very short terms back then about the Ratio1. He didn't want to lure me with it. He just told me, decision is up to you. I will support you in any decision you make. In any case, I will be your teacher. I will conduct your masters. And right now, from this point, I'm really surprised how back then I was thinking, oh, would I go with this one or would I go with that one? But after meeting Andrei in life and having a few discussions with him, asking him everything I wanted to know about the project, it really caught my attention, not 100, but 200%. And I got excited about it, and I'm really happy that I did that decision back then. And I think it's one of the best decisions in my life.
Nice.
Can we go to questions that do not make me feel blushing?
Sure. Yes.
We won't see it. Your beard doesn't allow it.
It matters. I know you don't see it, but I feel it.
Yeah.
Well, we've
It's
worked
truth.
together.
It's truth.
We've all worked together for maybe some longer than others, but we all have this sense of like, okay, let's work together, let's do this right, let's be a solid team. And I think that sort of showcases in all aspects of the project as well. We've all communicated and worked together on various parts, front end, back end, promotional stuff, all sorts. And I think that that is absolutely brilliant. That's the way it should be for most projects, for most teams. I guess we have a lot more to discuss. I would be interested to hear as well particular aspects of the project that really sort of sparked something in each of us in particular. Maybe there was one challenge that we overcome recently that was very satisfying to take to completion, or something that really sort of sparked us of the project regarding the project in recent times. So any particular stories to share on that aspect?
I can start. I'm not sure you or anyone who's listening will like it anyway. Well, for me, it was a very interesting journey. Before starting to work on Ratio1 back in 2021, for me, Web3 was something that I wasn't directly involved. I was only interested in the technology, and I was only interested in the idea of decentralized databases and, of course, blockchain itself. I used to have my own implementation of private blockchain, nothing to do with actual mining, with actual financial transactions, with tokens, cryptocurrency, or something like that. So I was far away from all this. So following the inception of the project, I started to get acquainted with the whole environment, the whole Web3 environment. But I at my core, I remain that I'm still a Web2 entrepreneur, software developer, AI guy, and so on. However, although I had 2021, 22, 23, 24, whatever, to prepare for the launch, to prepare for the moment where the project was alive, I didn't expect to have this much emotional roller coaster. And I think the main problem, or the main thing that nothing prepared me for, was the reaction and the whole idea behind of Ratio1 having a token. I thought that for everybody it's clear, Ratio1 needs a token, otherwise it cannot work. You cannot have totally open source, totally freedom to operate, totally zero commissioned ecosystem where everybody can be an entrepreneur without having a token, right? So that was obvious, and that was the only reason for a token, the pure utility token. However, something else happened. The token launched with zero commercial, zero marketing, and it became in a few hours something like a meme token hype. So huge volumes, skyrocketing. And I wasn't prepared for that. But that passed. What I wasn't really prepared was the reaction of the community, because 90% of the community, maybe more, I'm not sure, was geared not towards Ratio1, not towards all the things that we do, from the very concept of the meta operating system to launching cloud on edge jobs, to horizontal scaling, decentralized storage, decentralized jobs. Everything, it's way beyond their vision. So that was for me very complicated from emotional point of view. It's like was like somebody just looks at my shoes and they don't look in my eyes. They don't look at anything else. So that was very hard for me, particularly.
I understand. It was something for them, for the those who invest. It was something new, something shiny, and since it skyrocketed within a few hours, of course, that was their main focus.
Yeah, you said
only in
invest.
time did the community actually start learning about, okay, what is this token and why is it a utility token for Ratio? What does Ratio1 actually do with this, and what do people need in order to both use it and earn it? So yeah.
I've been pretty old in this space. I'm pretty old in this space, let's say, and I've seen both tokens falling and skyrocketing and so on. And also I'm fully aware of all the types of token. I've been implicated in many reviews of projects, especially on the compliance side, and checking how they can become a Web3 product. As you know, previously I've been part of a team that had an incubator. So I reviewed more than, let's say, 200 projects, all of them different use cases and different compliance rules and so on. And what actually I have noticed in the last 5 years, let's say, is that people don't really understand the concept of a utility token. People have more expectations than anything else on a utility token, which is, it's okay to have it, but first of all, you need to understand without any speculation, without any dreams and so on, what the utility of that token really is. I mean, when somebody tells you the only utility of the token is governance, let's say, there are projects that, let's say, Arbitrum, the only utility of the Arbitrum token is to maintain the governance of the ecosystem. When somebody tells you that's the utility of the token, don't expect crazy stuff overnight. Don't expect anything else in return just because you own that piece of governance, let's say. For example, for our protocol, it's pretty clear stated that the utility of the Ratio1 token is basically, there are two utilities basically. One, it allows you to get your license, is the main route to get a license and to become a node operator, because without a license you can't operate any node. And then the second one, which is a slow utility, let's say, this is how I like to call it, is the value that is locked based on the performance and the adoption of the protocol. That's the only utility of the token. We mentioned it from the very first moment, but the speculation, you can't stop that. And it's normal to have people that expect more, but it's pretty well stated from the very beginning that this is the utility of the Ratio1 token. And I think it's somebody asked on the groups what's the utility when, I don't know, certain actions for the token, but everything is up and running. The burning mechanism are all live. It's happening slowly because the adoption is pretty low right now. And of course we are in the early days of the adoption, but everything is there. I mean, you can't expect anything else, just what it is.
And all the information is available, not only through our many blogs, of which we have tackled all the subjects, but also with the FAQ, with us, of course, on our Telegram group, which we will link.
In a way, this is the only pressure I think everybody in the team maybe feels a bit, and I think it's pretty odd because people expect like it is like you go to a foreign country, like let's take Switzerland, and you are expecting to buy a franc and you expect to have a different utility. I don't know, it's just use it. I mean, that's the purpose of the token.
you see it one way. I see it a little bit different, but I think we have a convergence of viewpoints.
Mm-hmm.
So, in my opinion, is like we're launching a company today, right? So
Yeah.
we launched the whole project was launched after more than 4 hard years of work in June, right?
Yeah.
So people are expecting, or someone, or let's say the so-called communities, or part of the community. I don't even know how to label this, and I don't want to insult anyone. This is very important to be stated from the very beginning. It's like somebody is expecting, after 3 months since the startup was launched, to be a unicorn.
Yeah.
So you started the startup. You are pushing towards adoption. You are working. You are selling. You are constructing partnership, and everybody says, "Okay, when is the first billion?" Wait a second. We are a startup. We just started. This is organic business. It's not about marketing a I don't know, a token, a crypto, whatever you want to call it, for the hype, in order to create what? Exit liquidity for those that are early. It's only a game after all. Okay, but you know what? I think this is something that's that it's I have to make peace with this. So otherwise,
You won't be able to fight against speculation and against what the market actually thinks.
But
Even if you state everything clear, it's pretty obvious that people will interpret the information however they want and act as they want. But it's important to understand that Ratio1 itself, it's not you don't invest in the company. Actually, even if there's a company behind, because it's normally to have a foundation, a company behind. It's not a project to invest like in a stock. It's basically a protocol where you can make money on. Basically, this is the approach. There you can buy certain products from the ecosystem. You can get a license. You can build a cloud service provider business. You can build a node operator business. But it's based on what you want to build on. It's not based on what we are building, because this is different. It's an open source protocol. Everybody can build on top. Of course, if you are working individual, you are going to make money on it. It's based on your involvement in the protocol and how much you develop in the end.
And we are lucky that we have quite a number of people that have already understood that, and from the community have acted on that and have created their own nodes, have built everything, everything they need to be a part of this. I will have to say that this is where our first discussion will have to cut off. We've reached our time for today, but we will definitely do more of these, and definitely we're looking forward to the comments to see what other questions or other discussions we might have for you guys. All right, thank you.
If everyone. I may, Mihai?
Yes, sorry.
If I may, next time, maybe we can also talk about the partnerships that we are building on right now, and also talking on the fact that the whole idea of the tokenized economy comes also with the mechanics, special mechanics for the token. So at the end of the day, in the long term, there is a clear reason for the existence of this token. So apologies for interrupting your closing statement.
No.
So for the next time.
Yes, it's perfectly fine. Thank you everyone so much for watching. See you next time. Goodbye, everybody.
See you. Bye.
See you next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.